Welcome to the Bellefleur Tire Shop Grand Falls Rapids pregame show. Tyler Raines here with all of the action for you this afternoon as the Campbellton Tigers are in town to take on the Grand Falls Rapids. The Rapids coming off of an 8-2 win against the Valley Wildcats on Friday night, and the Campbellton Tigers, on the other hand, ending the Edmundston Blizzards' impressive 9-0 start, handing them their first loss of the season in a 4-1 victory. There is going to be a lot to talk about on the pregame show today, including the second to last part of the Behind the Bench series, where I sat down with legendary coach Gardner McDougall. He needs no introduction, the head coach of the Moncton Wildcats, multi-time U Sports champion, Memorial Cup champion, and so much more. Stick around for that one at the end of the episode. But first, we have lots to get into. We're going to break down the matchup here so you can see on the tail of the tape the Campbellton Tigers with a 3-4, 1-0 record on the season, placing them fourth place, only ahead of the Rapids by 2 points, and the Grand Falls Rapids with a 3-6, 0-0 record on the year as well. In terms of your goal scoring, Owen Underhill has been on fire for the Campbellton Tigers with 6 goals, compared to Jonah Leard, who has 8 goals in 9 games this season, leading the Rapids. Jeremy Dastu with a 5-point game, pushing him to the assists leader on the team with 9 points. Baron Samard, and no stranger to this building, played for the West Kent Steamers last year and the Campbellton Tigers this year. 6 assists there, and Jonah Leard and Owen Underhill leading their team in respective points as well. In terms of the overall matchup, goals for, the Rapids have 28. The Tigers have 25, so they've both been outscored. The goals against outweigh it a little bit. For the Rapids, it's 37. For the Tigers, it's 32. There's a 5-goal difference between their goals against. Now, this is a little bit of a key, and I'll explain that in just a moment. Special teams. This is really what it's all going to depend on. Neither team, like I was saying last game, the Valley Wildcats weren't doing that great on the power play. The Campbellton Tigers not doing so hot either. The Grand Falls Rapids 16.7% on the season, but have done pretty well on the penalty kill, 79.5%. Now, here is what I mean by the goals against versus their goals against on the other team as well. So there's a 5-goal difference between that. That's only the amount that they've allowed through the course of the season so far. The Tigers have only allowed 5 fewer goals. That is the equivalent of either 1 or 2 games, depending on how you look at it. This is 2 teams that are very, very, very similar this season in terms of special teams, in terms of their goal ranges, in terms of the games. They've both had incredible struggles. They've both had incredible games where they've started to come back, and both teams are looking to extend their win streak so far. For Campbellton, they have, like I mentioned, the momentum coming off of that huge 4-1 win against the Edmundston Blizzard. And for the Grand Falls Rapids, the most dominant performance of the season so far, an 8-2 win against the Valley Wildcats, looking to not only gain some ground in the division by getting another win and extending their win streak, but the important thing to note about this game is neither team is going to want to lose. For Campbellton, this is a game that if you win, you extend the gap between the Rapids to 4 points. And for the Rapids, if you win this game, you catch Campbellton and you're now tied for third place or for fourth place rather in the division, and only sit 3 points behind the Miramichi Timberwolves. Now that's another storyline to follow this afternoon as well. You look at the standings right now in the North Division, the Edmundston Blizzard with 18 points, West Kent right behind them with 11, so there is a bit of a gap there. 9 points for the Miramichi Timberwolves and 7 points for the Campbellton Tigers, which puts them in fourth. So if the Rapids win today, they'll be ahead of the Tigers by 1 point. And should Edmundston beat Miramichi this afternoon, the Rapids would only be sitting 1 point behind Miramichi for third place in the division. It's those early season divisional races that you like to keep track of. It's what keeps things exciting. And to say the very least, the Rapids have done just that by keeping it exciting. The matchups Around the rest of the league, like I mentioned for this afternoon, so Edmonton plays Miramichi. That takes place at 2:30. Campbellton plays Grand Falls, as we know, and then West Kent heads off to Nova Scotia to face off against the Pictou County Crushers. That's going to be another game to watch as well. Now, it may not seem like it's that big of a deal since it's Edmundston and West Kent that are seemingly miles ahead of the Rapids, but this is another one another team in West Kent that is catchable, that if they go on even a 3-game losing streak, they could lose that second place spot to any of the teams below them. So this is going to be another game of inches, if you will, for the Rapids. If they win this game, not only will they propel past Campbellton, they're going to be within 1 point of Miramichi. And if Pictou beats West Kent, they're only 2 points back of the Steamers for second place in the division as well. So this is not a must-win game, but it would be a really helpful win for the Rapids here today if they were going to win. So with that being said, Campbellton's coming in hot. Grand Falls is coming in hot. This is going to be a game where you're going to want to watch. If you don't have your tickets already, stop by the box office. If you're watching at home, make sure that you're cheering them on every minute of this game, because this is going to be a heated matchup. We saw the last time it got very physical. The score was very high, and one that I'm sure is going to be entertaining, to say the very least. So with that being said, we are going to take you into the next portion of the show, which is the Alumni Spotlight. I mentioned the last time we were going to bring this in as a brand new segment on the show. And this is the next player that I would like to introduce as our Rapids Alumni Spotlight for this episode. Former Grand Falls Rapids captain Denis Toner. He played quite a few games in the Maritime Junior Hockey League, spent between the Woodstock Slammers, the Grand Falls Rapids, and in the QMJHL with the Halifax Mooseheads as well. In the Maritime Junior Hockey League, 15 games, 56 points, 6 goals, and 50 assists for Denis Toner. Currently playing at the University of Moncton, where he has in 81 games, very impressive, 27 points, 6 goals, and 21 assists. Now, it may not seem like that from an offensive standpoint, but he is a very, very good two-way defender. And if you're wondering what Denis Toner is up to now, he is currently at the University of Moncton in his 5th season with the team, and currently doing an incredible job at holding down that Eagles blue line. So that is Denis Toner with this edition of the Grand Falls Rapids Alumni Spotlight. And with that being said, we're going to take you into the exclusive behind the bench interview with Gardner McDougall. And this is going to be one that I'm sure you're going to like. And it's a very entertaining chat that I have with him. So with that being said, I hope you like this episode. If you haven't already done so, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit the little bell notification for all future content, and enjoy the rest of the show as I take you behind the bench with Gardner McDougall. Tyler Raines sitting here, joined by Gardner McDougall, the new head coach of the Moncton Wildcats. And Gardner, first off, I have to say, congratulations on being named head coach of the Wildcats. You've won a lot in your career. What are you looking forward to most about being in Moncton?
Yeah, I guess first of all, it's an unbelievable opportunity, really a privilege, challenge. I guess you could use all those 3 words. And it's a new opportunity, and certainly thanks to Mr. Irving. I said, probably maybe the only person in Canada that could make this work. We certainly enjoyed our 24 years at UNB. It was a phenomenal experience, and just tremendous memories in the city, the university, and obviously the team. But it's I think the chance to be with my son as a GM, and we got to know the staff down there, so I'm really excited. Got to speak to the players and meet some of the players here, so it's a big challenge in front of us, but something that we're really looking forward to.
And there's something there that you said, you get the chance to work with your son, who is Taylor. He is the GM and the president of hockey ops down there, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah.
So what is it going to be like for you to work, especially with your family and someone who you're so close with in your son?
I think we end up with our staff. We have retaining some staff and then bringing new people in. Dustin Friesen was a former player for me for 5 years. He was my captain for 3 years, and he's making his debut, I guess, in major junior hockey. He had a great pro career, both in North America, and then he was over in the DEL in Germany, and has done some coaching out west. He was with Moose Jaw in the Western Hockey League, who won the Western Hockey League. So, for that opportunity. I've been impressed with some of the staff members there, and obviously Taylor, as a father-son, ever since probably he went to Major Junior at 16 to the St. John's Fog Devils. We talk probably on a daily basis, and even with his career as an NHL player agent, it may not be every day, but it was quite frequent throughout the week. Here, I think 2 days ago we talked 5 times during the day. So I think a big part of that is the coach and the general manager, just the alignment. Obviously, the roots are deep. We have similar philosophies of how to build a team and how to get the most out of groups. So it's going to be a really exciting adventure.
And it's 100% a world-class organization, the Moncton Wildcats. Now, you've been able to say that you were, or will be able to say that you were on both sides of that, playing or coaching for the St. John Sea Dogs, winning the Memorial Cup in 2022, and now going to the Moncton Wildcats as well. Rewinding back to 2022, when you got brought in, there was about a month until the tournament started. Was it chaotic at all? Like, what was the process like when you got brought in?
I can't say enough about just the reception there. Trevor Georgie as a general manager, just so much initiative and a lot of grit and a lot of guts. Mr. McCain, Scott McCain, I got a chance to meet him, my second day there, and he was just, thrilled for the opportunity for the team ahead. But most of all, it's always about the players, and the players and the staff there just did an unbelievable job. Like the players had a total buy-in, 110%. They just bought into everything, and the staff, just everyone did their job. And obviously, when you take the job, it's really it feels like a duty. I've been a resident of New Brunswick, at that time 22 years, and it was a duty to certainly the organization and Mr. McCain, but also the city of St. John and really the province of New Brunswick. And you want to try to create those, I guess, wow moments or lifetime moments. And the crowd support there was unbelievable right from the opening game. And we gained momentum. I guess we had that lady momentum behind us a little bit, but it's just a really neat memory and a tremendous experience.
And when you got to finally hoist the Memorial Cup, what was that feeling like for you?
I mean, it was so intense and so kind of a short, and sometimes you feel like you go in and you kind of pinch hit, and you've got some coaches, outstanding coaches in the CHL across the country that have worked 10 years, 15 years, 20, 25 years, and had good teams. So I think you're really appreciative of getting that opportunity and having the players make the most of it. And it's one of those, I don't know, you call it the 0.0001% club that you're part of a Memorial Cup champion.
And there you are. And another thing is, too, is that among those victories, those Memorial Cup victories, U18s in Canada, 4 AUS championships, and 7 national championships. How do you do it? How do you get these groups motivated and get them to buy in? And
I mean, it's all about good people, and hopefully they're good players as well. But we're fortunate at UNB that, the culture, and part of it is the longevity. Our staff was amazing that I had there, and we've been together, most of us, for close to 10 years. Had tremendous support from the university, so it was a place, a destination for a lot of CHL graduate players that decided rather than moving on to a pro career right then, that they come to university first, and then we're always about promoting them on to pro afterwards. And I think their 2019 team, all the graduates have graduated now, and 19 out of those 22 players have played, either signed American League contracts or played in the American Hockey League, which is a phenomenal, attribute, to see. So, and then, the World Juniors, St. John, I've been lucky to win 3 World Championships. And again, it's always the people. I've been fortunate to have, really good staff, so everyone can do what they're probably best at, that type of stuff. We can delegate duties, and everyone does a great job of the role.
And now going back to the U18s, now you got to represent Canada at a national level. What does that mean to be able to do that, especially in a tournament like the World Juniors?
I think, when you put the players get that Team Canada jersey on, it's usually once in a lifetime. And we're lucky to have some experience with the World University Games. Back in 2007 was my first real big championship. We had won league championships, we won provincial. In 2004, we lost in double overtime at the national final at the Aiken Center. So I'd been banging on the door, and 2007 was our first world championship. And then, 2.5 months later, we won our first 9 university championships in Moncton against a team we hadn't beat, so I think sometimes smart people learn from their mistakes, wise people learn from smart people, and I guess since 2007 we tried to be a little bit wiser and additionally to being smart.
And then finally, I wanted to ask you a little bit about the future of hockey in Canada. You've got the coach players like TJ Ginla, Porter Martone, Gavin McKenna, just to name a few. There's obviously a lot of great potential in upcoming talent from whether it be the CHL, NCAA. Just want to get your thoughts overall on the way that the direction that things are heading for prospects here.
Yeah, I mean, the sport of hockey, when you look at it, I mean, in the National Hockey League playoffs, the finals was the highest rated ever, right? 7.6 million viewers, the final game, which is the highest in the history of the National Hockey League. And, so I think our sport is certainly growing. I mean, there's parts of the game I think we have to improve upon, and different areas of the country here, certainly in Atlantic Canada. We're getting a different viewpoint now, being in the Quebec Maritime Junior Hockey League, which will be an unbelievable opportunity. But I think, we want to grow our league, to be able to coach the top, the Gavin McKenna's, the top players in the country, the Martones and the Ginlas. We had a number of first-round draft picks on that team, and we have a player in Moncton, Caleb Desnoyers, who's playing very well in the under-18s. He was an underage on our World Championship team, and he's we probably want to develop more elite players out of our league, and he's certainly one of them coming forth. And as far as the Maritime, Atlantic Canada goes, I think the Quebec League has done wonders. There's so many players now, from local players from all 4 provinces are getting opportunities to play major junior, and then taking a major junior and either going on to professional hockey or going to youth sport, whether it's the AUS or moving up to Ontario for So I think hockey's a vehicle. I think people are players are going to be people longer than they're going to be hockey players. So their dream at a bantam, midget, junior level is to be the best player they can be, but ultimately the attributes and the values and the habits they pick up from being on a hockey team and a hockey player are going to last way longer than their career as a hockey player. So I think if we can give back and really, as a coach, and for all coaches, actually we're at a coaching symposium here, but we want to try to make an impact and make a difference in our players' lives.
And then one last little bit as well, for somebody who's looking to become a coach, whether it be from being a player previously or somebody who's followed the game their whole life, what kind of advice would you offer them if they wanted to get into it?
Yeah, I mean, it's a tremendous vocation. Whether you, as a community volunteer, you want to help out in minor hockey, or you want to pursue it farther. And it's not a straight road, but I think the one thing, you got to be who you are, and the environment, whatever environment you've had as a player, that you can use that to help you. But it's about being yourself. But really, I think the biggest thing is probably to adopt like a servant mentality. Really, you're serving your players, whether you're coaching the 14-year-old rec team, or whether you're coaching the under-18 AAA team. I think, and I always use the word best ever. Your goal as a coach for that one season is, can it be the best ever experience for your group, and trying to make an impact with those players.
All right, thank you very much for your time, Gardner, and I appreciate you doing this today.
Yeah, great questions. All the best.
Thank you.